So here we are. I'm George Eldey from Wines by Nature, and this is Jacques, one of the partners of Chateau.
Greetings.
We're going to taste through a few of their wines today.
Oh God, I thought we would never get to that part. Yes, and we'll start by this bad boy here.
It's a can.
Yes, it's a can, George. It's a can. I love the format. And let's see if it makes the magic sound first. Yes, it does. I saw a can of wine last year in the US, and I just thought, wow. Finally, and it was from a known winery, and I figured, well, maybe people are finally ready for wine in a can, because we had met with a producer of cans in France who makes chocolate milk for kids, and we asked him the question point blank: is there any technical reason why there is no wine in a can? And his answer was that there absolutely isn't. And actually, he produced a blank can of an industrial test that he had done a few years ago. He said, well, why don't you open it? We cracked it open, and it was brilliant. And so I really believe that the future is going into single servings. Yes, we are traditional. Yes, we are organic. Yes, our wines are completely chemical-free. But we're not against innovation as well and moving forward. I think people have come to accept screw caps, they've come to accept bag-in-a-box, so the next logical step is cans.
Well, it is the perfect container. The two enemies of wine are light and air.
Yeah.
And this completely seals it.
Voilà, exactly. And plus this is obviously rosé, a wine that is supposed to be consumed within a couple of years, really. And for the boat, for the pool, for any outdoor activity. And quite frankly, when you just want a glass and a half of wine, crack a can. I mean, that's what I do at home, just for cooking. I have a bottle of red line up, and you need a little starter, so you crack one of these bad boys, and off you go.
You know, wine is a performance-enhancing drug when it comes to cooking.
I absolutely agree. Yes. On this note, this is a wine that exists in two sizes. We have the 250 ml, so it's 8.45 ounces, and we also have it in a regular 750 container, which is called Old School Rosé. And this is a wine that's made with Grenache, and it's a direct press rosé, so meaning it's made the proper way. You have a few ways to make rosé. And we wanted crisp, light, summery, something that makes you want to skip and hop on a hot day. Yeah.
So it's an organic Pinot Noir with no detectable...
actually Grenache, 100% Grenache.
100% Grenache, made with organic grapes with no detectable pesticides or herbicides.
Yes.
And
on that note, you can actually even go on our website, because sometimes there can be some confusion about organic.
Right.
And what we did, we commissioned and we published all the chemical analysis of all our wines and put it up on our website. And all of them came back with not a single trace, not even a part per million of chemical.
That was amazing when I went through those technical data. To the parts per million and some parts per billion, no detectable zeros across the board.
Because often you can get drifts from the neighbor, you can get, who knows what, and there's a tolerance level as well. But in this case, no, they're completely chemical free. So there you go. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's it.
Right on point.
There you go.
Nice, dry, fresh, crisp.
Yeah. And as you know, and as I often say, you can be as organic, you can be as green, as sustainable as you want to be. If the wine sucks, the conversation ends very, very, very quickly. It has to be good. So that's it.
Right on. Now that also comes in Pinot Noir.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
And this is the only French Pinot Noir that is certified organic in the can.
And it's still the only certified organic wine in a can. And it's the only French wine. It's the only wine canned in France.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you can buy this by the 4-pack, or you can buy them individually.
By the 4-pack. Yeah. And that takes us to the old school Rouge. I was doing a tasting a few years ago, and I was explaining to this customer that we plow with horses, and I had to show her pictures and videos, and she looked at me and said, "Wow, you guys are mad old school." So my wife talked me off the ledge, and it's called Old School and not Mad Old School, but it says it all. It's a wine that's modern in taste, but made with very traditional methods. And it's Syrah with 20% Grenache. So typical Rhone, South of France blend. we're interested in freshness of fruit, vibrancy of fruit. That's really what interests us. So there's a lot of red fruit in this wine. It's clean, it's fresh, and again completely chemical free.
Right on. I noticed here it says certified B Corporation. That's with Patagonia and Ben and Jerry's.
That's correct. Yes, we're thrilled that we are the only winery in Europe that is certified B Corp. And we are certified organic by AB, NOP. We're also certified biodynamic by Demeter and Biodivin. These are independent third parties that come to your vineyard, test your land, your wine, your machinery. But on top of that, yes, we are B Corp. And B Corp has a sustainable aspect to the certification, but also has a social aspect. Essentially, it means that we don't flog our employees. But I mean, beyond that, we also contribute to the community. There's a certain level of points that you gain on what you contribute. A typical example, or a concrete example, is our assistant at the winery is from Kentucky, and we pay her to actually give English lessons to the local kids. Our employees all have retirement plan, complete medical benefits. I mean, part of it is also part of French welfare state, but it's also a thing that we often forget is who makes these wines. Are they paid? Are they well treated? And so this is what this certification is.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. So this is a wine that's, to come back to the wine, this is a wine that really, sausages, skirt steaks. These are wines from the south of France, so they're pretty broad-shouldered.
But it's a lot of high-toned fruit, very bright, very giving. It does everything I wanted to do, but it's even more.
But it's friendly. It's our midweek chugger, and I mean this in the best way possible. But it's supposed to be a friendly wine.
Yeah, but it also has serious shoulders, so this is a great accompaniment with food.
Oh yeah. And then we go into a wine that we're very, very proud of, which is La Touche. La Touche is a single vineyard planted with Syrah, and we blend in this one 35% of Grenache and a dollop of Carignan as well. This is a wine that is served in many restaurants in Manhattan. I'm thinking Bluefin, Blue Water Grill, for instance, Cherche Midi. And it's very difficult to make this wine. Les Amandiers, which is our top-end Syrah, we know how to make it. We have the formula, it's fine, and it's also a wine that retails for $70. This is a wine that's $16, and yet it's certified organic, it's hand-picked. Really, those vineyards are manicured, so our production costs are quite high, and yet we're able to sell it at this price. This is a wine that received 93 points by the Wine Advocate for a wine that's under $20. And actually, we've just been rated by Jeff Dunnock from the Wine Advocate. All our wines are between 91 and 97 points, so we're thrilled. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And so, this is the first of the 2015. And the ongoing joke in a region like Burgundy is that every new vintage is the vintage of the century. But in this case, it is the best vintage we've made of this particular wine, and 2015 was really, really great in the south of France. And 2015 has everything. It has everything. It has great ripeness. It's vibrant. It's got good acidity. It's really showing well.
It tastes way below its price point. This is a very delicious wine that, if I was a blind taste on this, I would assume this would retail to the upper 20s, in the low 30s minimum. And I know many people will be jealous of your scores. There's some Napa Valley Cabernets that never get that score in there, and they're in the $50 to $75 range, and they never achieve that type of a critical acclaim.
Well, it's hard. Anybody who tells me that they don't like to be reviewed by their peers is not exactly truthful, but we're very happy. And that takes us to Les Planeurs, which is our mid-range Syrah. It is also a single vineyard, and in this case, it's usually 100% Syrah. In this one, we add a little bit of a little bit of Grenache. But then we go back to the 2014 vintage. 2014, which was very elegant, a little cooler as well. So this one we make in a mix of concrete tanks and barrels as well for 12 months. So it stays with us a bit longer in the hemp winery. But there's again this great brightness of fruit. If there's one thing that we obsess about, it's freshness. Wine is a refreshment. So if it's not there, then we're wasting our time.
Yeah, the acidity, the tannin, the texture, the mouthfeel is all there necessary.
Yeah. And we agonized about at the winery about having freshness and a great clean finish and a long finish. It's something that we really work hard on. And this is obviously a food wine. We're interested in having this wine served with. This is obviously a steak wine, hanger steak, barbecue, and so on. But also lamb, which is the sort of national dish where we are located in the south of France.
And I think any game meat will be a nice pairing with any type of game, venison. Yeah. I think it's just a brilliant, elk steaks.
Oh yeah,
all that is just, it has that freshness, a little bit of that tannin, like little mint type of freshness that kind of comes back towards the end. Mm-hmm. It's a cerebral wine. Makes you think.
And that takes us to the big boy, which is Les Amandiers. Les Amandiers is a tiny vineyard located not far from Les Planelles. It's not the oldest vineyard that we have, but it is the one that produces the most succulent Syrah that we produce. And this is a wine that we only produce on top vintages. So we did it in 2010, we did it in 2014, 2015, and probably again in 16, which again, we're in the middle of a great streak of great vintages. And so that's pretty full on now. This was 94 points by the Wine Advocate. This is the wine that in the 2015 received 97 points, but you can probably see why. There's a great velvety texture to this wine. More than the spiciness of Syrah, this is what we're looking for in this wine.
Beautiful. It really stays with you. The thread through all the wines is that fresh fruit component, the balanced texture, the width of flavor through the mouth. It feels like it's touching all those bases. Balance, elegance, finesse, but it has that weight and power, but that's not the driving force.
Right. Well, we don't want wine that are too liquor. She has their big wines, but
no.
We still want them to be light on their feet.
Yes,
really. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Jacques, it has been a pleasure.
No, it's my pleasure.
Thank you for coming in and taking us through the wines, and you'll be able to find a full assortment of the wines of Chateau Maris here at Wines by Nature.
Very cool. Cheers. Thank you, George. Cheers.